I'm going to talk about one specific insecurity in this episode. I was editing one of my podcast episodes. I don't know which one it was. And one of my main insecurities why I held off specifically doing a podcast was, well, I don't really like to call it an insecurity because now it's like a whatever about it. It was before, was my communication skills. I'm not the greatest communicator. I try my best, especially I feel like now in school, I hated doing presentations. Like, I would just get so anxious, you guys. Like, I would start sweating. I just get so nervous because I would think, what are others going to say about me? What if I get, like, what if I mess up or something? Or, like, what if my topic ain't right or isn't interesting or anything like that? Because, I mean, dude, in school, nobody really paid attention in presentations. It was just, like, for kids. I know sometimes I wouldn't, or even if I would, I wouldn't ever judge people, because I wouldn't want nobody to judge me or anything like that. So I hated presentations, but honestly, I was like, I have to do it either way. Like, there's no way for me not to do it. Like, I need a grade in this, So I would just try to calm myself down and, talk to myself and say, like, it's good. Like, we have to do it. Like, I would always say we have to do it. Like, there's no way we can't do it. And at the end of the day, it would go good, to be honest. It would go really good. And I'd be like, see, why do I get nervous? But again, I would always get nervous. So that was like the only time when like I would do public speaking or whatever. I've never really done public speaking like that. Or like, doing videos. I wouldn't do them before. But I just always thought I wasn't the best communicator because I don't know. I thought I didn't sound smart. I didn't know like all these big words. I cuss, use slang. And I thought, like, I didn't sound smart, like I thought if people were going to speak or do a podcast or something like that, like they have to speak nicely, with this voice. Another thing was my voice. My voice I don't know. But I'm like, dude, nowadays, like, who the fuck cares? Like, everybody speaks their mind however they want. That's literally what makes everybody unique. Gary Vee is like, I think he's one of the best speakers. He stays fucking cussing, he says like he's not gonna stop fucking cussing because, that's him. Like, that's how he is, and so that was one of the things, especially, I don't know, I feel like, honestly, after drinking a lot and doing drugs, that kind of made, I don't know. I think it was that. I don't know. Maybe it's just, I honestly don't know. But I feel like everybody kind of stutters. Honestly, I don't tend to stutter a lot or something, but sometimes I catch myself like, like when I say, oh, I can't even talk right now. I don't know. I just, when I was editing the video, there was a part like that. And I'm like, dude, like, it made me think about my speaking skills and just how I used to have that insecurity and stuff like that. And that's where I was like, yo, like, it just made me think about all this stuff. And that was one of my biggest insecurities of why I held off of doing a podcast. But, now I could care less, and when I started the podcast, I just didn't give a shit anymore. I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to do it. And it's still practice, you guys. And that's what it is with things. Like, you just have to practice. And nobody's perfect, Nobody is perfect. Nobody gets it right the first time. And that was my thing. Like, at first, with my first episode, I literally filmed it. I think, like, I was trying to film it. And I'd be like, oh, no, wait, I fucked up. And I do it again. I think it was like a couple times. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to just fucking do it. Like, that's why there's editing. If anything, I could just edit it out. No fucking big deal. But, that I just it was funny. And I think about it like that now, like insecurities, you guys, insecurities shouldn't stop you from doing whatever you want. You know, like if I still had that insecurity and I gave a shit about what people thought or like what are people gonna say, I wouldn't have made this podcast. I wouldn't have been inspiring you guys and sharing the good vibes, you know. So don't let insecurities stop you. You know, you have insecurities because you think you're supposed to be perfect. Like what the fuck is perfect? There's no perfect. You know, if with your image you feel like you have to be this perfect way and have to look, you know, like this certain way in order to be beautiful and perfect. Like no. If everybody's beautiful. Everybody's beautiful. Everybody is beautiful in their own unique way. That's literally what makes you beautiful, because you're unique, because you're yourself, you know, because you love yourself. That's beauty. And if we were all perfect, we would all be in this same category. And that would be boring. That wouldn't be interesting. Everybody would be the same. Like, you guys all want to look the same? No, I don't want to look the same as nobody else. You know, I'm happy to be me and be my own unique self and just keep learning and growing, you know, and keep learning like about me and seeing where I need to improve. What can I do? You know, and it's great that I'm not saying like, you know, that insecurity like kind of helped in a little way. It's how you see it, you know, like it's not about calling it an insecurity, but I knew I had some issues with my speaking skills, communication skills, whatever. So I'm like, okay, I need to practice. You know, when I used to do the presentations for school, I would practice. I would practice in front of a mirror. I would practice in front of somebody. That way, you know, I would just practice, you know, and see what I need to work on. Do I get nervous, you know, and stuff like that. So, you know, it's practice. I don't practice like do a whole ass thing before my podcast, because I kind of like just, which I thought about. I did think about before, but I'm like, no, because then that's not interesting. Like, I want to do it raw and just me in front of the camera in the first shot. You know what I'm saying?